Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Taiyo Explorer. So the Taiyo Explorer is the next ship in my exploration ships line, and like all of my exploration ships, it is designed as a mid-game ship. You should have everything that you need for this ship somewhere between levels 20 and 40, and I am limiting it to Starship Design rank 2 or less. Additionally, for the exploration class ships, I am restricting them so that way they have to have an armory, a science lab, an infirmary, a cargo hold, and crew space for 4+ crew members. Now, this Taiyo one is built entirely with Taiyo parts, and you can put it together over at Taiyo Astroneering here on Neon. I'll just do a quick exterior tour. This is a Class C ship, though I'm using Class B engines. Um, but that Class C reactor is right there. Arguments can be made that I probably should upgrade the engines to Class C, but, that's going to be your choice in the end. It's got a somewhat distinctive shape here. Though I was working very hard to prevent it from just being the typical Taiyo tube design. So let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. So immediately after you come in the door, you enter into the armory. Got space for all your weapons here, and a small brig in case you need it. And then the door right here. So this door is leading into a companionway. This is the central ladder up. We've got doors to the left and the right. So on the left here, you can see I have a 2x2 cargo hold. When I come around here, you'll see that here is a workshop. Note, workshops are not required for exploration class ships. I just decided to toss this one in. Coming around to the other side of the ship, you can see I have another 2x2 cargo hold tab. Forward of this one, you can see here is our science lab. So basically that means that the bottom floor of this ship is kind of the working floor. This is where all of your cargo is held. This is where your science lab and your workshop is. And this is the main entrance and exit, which you get through your armory. So if you need to step outside on a dangerous world, you'll have a chance to go ahead and pick your weapons up. Straight up this ladder, you can see we have the docker. And then we have 3 doors right here. So coming over here first, you can see we have the 2x2 Taiyo all-in-one. This has 4 beds here, a nice little galley right in here. Over here we've got the door to a bathroom, and then kind of a central relaxation / storage area. Forward on this side, you can see that we have the captain's quarters. Coming back here, we have a Taiyo all-in-one 2x1 with another 4 beds, bathroom, and another little galley. Coming around to the far side of the ship, you can see we have yet another Taiyo 4x4 all-in-one, again with a galley and 4 beds here. Back here, we have another 2x1 all-in-one, so that's putting us up to 13 beds right now. And then forward of this one, you can see this is where I put my infirmary. Now, arguments could be made that you should go ahead and put the infirmary on the first floor in place of the science lab. Just that way, if you have somebody injured, you don't need to take them up the ladder. But it's kind of your choice. Finally, coming straight down the center, you see we have a control room. And then forward through that, we have the cockpit. Simple enough design. So now that we've seen it, let's go ahead and take a look at how to build it. Always my least favorite part of working with Taiyo is having to go into Neon, and I've got enough save file bloat at this point that the game stutters a little bit walking through Neon. So we're gonna pop on down to Taiyo Explorer.
It's so nice to have you here. Satisfaction is guaranteed.
Okay, now let's go ahead and pop on in here to the ship builder. Grab my colors. There we go. And then we're going to select all and delete. So for the ship, we are of course going to start with the landing bay. And then we are going to go ahead and grab the tile bottom A. This does not have any connection points on the sides, only on the front and back. And this is how we are guaranteeing that our connection is going to be back here with the companionway. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and grab that. I'm using the bottom B because I do need these side connections here, and I want that slightly curved shape. Coming off the side of it, I'm going to choose the bottom B, and I'm going to grab the cargo hold, and then copy that on over to this side. And then off the front of this one, I'm going to choose the bottom A, and this is going to be my workshop. And then on this side, my bottom A is going to be my science lab. Next, coming up off of the companionway, I'm going to choose the companionway top B, again, because I need those side connection points. Coming off the front of this, I'm going to go ahead and choose the top A, and this one is going to go ahead and be my control station. Note I'm choosing the top A here because I want to guarantee that the entrances to the all-in-ones are through this companionway and not some sort of mix going through the control station. Now here I'm going to grab the top B all-in-one berth, and I have to pull it forward. And another top B all-in-one berth that I pull forward. Alright, then here I'm going to go ahead and choose the top B, and this is going to go ahead and be my captain's quarters. On this side, I'm going to choose a top B, and this is going to be my infirmary. Then on the back, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose the top A all-in-one, and then just copy that on over there. Next up, on top of this companionway, I'm going to go ahead and grab my docker. And then finally, right above the entrance, I'm going to go ahead and grab my cockpit, which is going to be the Himeji Bridge, because that's, for some reason, Starship Design Rank 1. But it's the best, and they're basically all identical anyway, so just choose whichever one you like the most, or gives you the best stats. Alright, so now that I've got all that done, let's go ahead and pop on over to the structural components, and we are going to grab a couple pieces here really quick. I am going to grab the cowling, top and bottom, and then back here I'm going to grab the cowling, top and bottom, and copy that on over to here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come right over here, And I'm going to come on over to my gear, and I'm going to grab the Pinpoint 4G landing gear port. And then right there. And I think I pulled, yep. Oh, that's where it's supposed to be. All right. Then down here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Pinpoint 4G landing gear. And then on the back sides of these, I'm going to use the bottom Pinpoint 4G landing gear. Just like so. So I've got 2 that are the 2 tall and 2 that are the 1 tall. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and grab my, let's go ahead and grab my engines. So for this ship, as mentioned, I decided to go with the B-class Nova engines. I will note I'm using this for the appearance's sake. If I just wanted more power, I would look at going ahead and putting on the SA 5330s, which is going to give us nearly 1,000 more maneuvering thrust per engine. And if I did these, I would just stack them up right here. But, as I said, I'm using the Nova 1020s more for that appearance than anything else. The other option would be to go ahead and put on some supernovas. So I'm already using all of my engine power or my reactor power for my engines. So sticking the supernovas on is just going to be reduced speed and give me increased performance. So it's your choice on whether or not you want to do that. I will note that the end maneuverability of this ship is in the 60s, and swapping to either the supernovas or the 5330s is going to go ahead and give you more performance. Next up, since I'm here anyways, let's go ahead and grab my reactor. Now for this ship, I decided to just go with a Class C reactor to get as much power as possible and to get better shielding, so that way I can make up for the fact that the maneuverability is a little low on the ship. Best one you can get is 34 power. That's going to be either the Fuser DC-4 or 2, or looks like the other options are not available here at Taiyo. So 34 power, DC-4 or 2. There we go. Now then, let's go ahead and look at the bottom of the ship. Right over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my grav drive. Now, I did fiddle with a bit for the figuring out how much grav jump thrust I needed, and the 30 grav jump thrust from the RD-2000 was sufficient for my purposes. Under here, I'm putting fuel, but rather than having it connect there, I'm having it connect on the inside of these engines. So for that, I'm using a pair of the H10 Atlas HE3 tanks. These are 210 fuel each, so that gives me 420. More than enough to go where I need to go. Then we're going to come on over here to the cargo tab, and I've got a pair of the Galleon S202 cargo holds. Placed like so. Next up, let's go ahead and grab my shield. Now for shields, the Assurance SG-2000 gives us 975 shield. Otherwise, you got the Fortress A2 for 900 or 850 with the 102D. So, unless, of course, you go with the Vanguard. So, I'm going to go ahead and place that right there. Then, come on over to the structural tab and grab Taiyo braking engines. And just stick them on right there. Next up, right over here, I'm going to toss on an equipment plate. And then a pair of Horizon weapon mounts. And weapons aside, that is the ship. So let's talk upgrades and downgrades. See if I can copy the whole ship. And I can. So, looking at this, if I wanted to go ahead and downgrade this ship, I can go ahead right in here and just tuck in a reactor, either the Class A 360T Stellarator or a Class B, whatever. 24 power with the Ion 1020, so that's 10 less power going with that. Or as mentioned, the Stellarator can fit in right there. And if I do that, what I would end up doing is just toss a cap on the ends of these, and then toss some engines on. So depending upon what sort of engines that you want, I would probably go Ares DT30s, and I would swap these out for the top of B all-in-one berths. And just do something like stick 4 of those on. Just like so. And then I need to get some fuel, which, we could just go ahead and toss on a pair of these 400G fuel tanks. I would also need to swap these cargo holds out for something different if I don't have Starship design. And I was looking to do this because of the lack of Starship design and not because of the lack of piloting. For that, I would, let's see here, honestly just toss on a pair of Stormax 50s. Still gives me plenty of cargo, and that fills that space out nicely. However, the other thing to look at would be over here, because as mentioned, you could go ahead and swap your engines around. So I'm actually going to demonstrate that in a little bit after, just kind of show. Actually, let's do this. Let me just delete this whole thing, and then I will show you the options on this one. All right, so looking at the Class A ship first. So this drops us down to 960 cargo. Oh, I need to still grab a shields here. We'll grab the 30S protector and just kind of toss it up top. Contains modules that. Oh, I've got the B class reactor on still. All right, so here within our 3000 grav drive, 4 Ares DT30 engines, and the 2 Stormax 50 cargos, you can see we've got just short of 1,000 cargo, 27 light year jump range, 65 mobility, and some choices on what exactly we want to do for weaponry. So this is a fairly reasonable Class A variant of the Taiyo Explorer. Let me go ahead and bring this back. So you can see that that variant lost over 1,000 cargo, a ton of shield, and similar mobility numbers. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this and say, okay, well, I'm already a Class C ship. Let's not futz too much with the engines. What can you give me? So, as mentioned, we could use the SAE 5330s. And I would just go ahead and toss 4 of them on. And, still with the Class B engines, we get to 100 mobility. I need to attach this to something else, but that's not a big deal. Or I can go ahead and say, well, I'm a Class C anyways. Let's go ahead and add these supernovas. Amusingly enough, the supernovas only get us to 86 mobility. It also drops our jump range enough that we would need to swap out to the RD3000 grav drive. Um, so you've got some choices there. Again, I am using the Novas for appearance's sake, not for power's sake. The last option is you could, of course, go ahead and toss in the Cell 6110s. However, doing this, let me just demonstrate that really quick. Only gets us 36 mobility. These engines are good not because they are individually powerful, but because you can put 6 of them on. So let's go ahead and put these Novas back on. All right. So, last thing here, weapons. So we are a Class C ship. I did, however, decide to go ahead and toss on through the Eradicator 75 auto neutron beams. You could make this Class C particle beams, but I already have the PBO 300s on, and the auto alpha beams require Starship Design rank 3. So let's go ahead and I'd be that way. Toss those PBO 300s on. And there we have it. All right. And I included something extra. Not entirely sure what. But whatever it was, it got lost. So, alrighty. So this is the ship, and yep, there we go. So now let's go ahead and see how it performs. right. Oh, that's takeoff. Now let's head on out to Serpentis. Alright, and again, as usual, this is on extreme difficulty. Alright. And you can see just with turning around that it does still float around with a little bit of trouble. You are definitely feeling that 67 mobility. But let's alright, they are not going to catch us like that, so let's go ahead and slow down a little bit more. 134. Alright. Despite being a Class C ship, this still cannot take sustained hits. There we go. No, stop firing. Alright. And we are just performing our usual kiting maneuver where we fly backwards. It looks like this Eulogy 3 does not have particle weapons of its own. Alright, and I believe there's one more. We should be able to... There we go. Revelation 3. Whee! And there you have it. So, again, using my usual kiting maneuver, you can fairly easily go ahead and deal with 3 ships out in Serpentis on extreme difficulty. But let's go ahead and, as usual, demonstrate what happens if you don't kite. I guarantee this is not going to turn out well. First, let's make sure we get some ship parts. There we go. And then come on over to the moon. And we will wait for somebody to show up and try and brawl. Well, of course, if just one shows up, maybe we can brawl. All right. Well, we'll try another moon. Yeah. And we'll see if more than one enemy ship shows up here. Looks like we've got 3. Alright, that's 1 down. Okay, well, maybe this ship can brawl. Okay. Um, that happened. Alrighty then. Should I try out one more spot? Sure. You just gather up my ship parts. Which, if you weren't aware, the best way to get ship parts is to come on out to Serpentis and gather them off the corpses of your enemies. Alright, let's go find this hostile activity and see if that'll teach us not to brawl. Alright, let's go ahead and hit him up first. There's seriously only 2? Okay, well, apparently, though I was fairly certain the ship couldn't brawl, I was wrong. Always a fun discovery. So, on that fun little note, thank you very much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those YouTube things. And I will see you in the next one.